Hi, I'm Karen from Black Swan Journals, and let's have some fun and make a master board and 8 gorgeous collaged tags. It didn't take me long to do this. It took me about 2.5 hours, I'd say, maybe a little less. And this is my second project share for Gina Makes It's design team. I'm very happy to be a member of it. I'm loving using her digitals. I did this today, made this today, and now I'm sharing it with you. I can't tell you how much fun I had. They were so beautiful and fun to work with. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting out making a master board. And just in case you're new, basically what that is it's just a large collaged piece that you can cut up and use as individual backgrounds to work with. And I'm using a couple of kits of Gina's. Gina has a YouTube channel. I'll link it in my description. And she also has an Etsy shop where you can find these beautiful digitals. And the ones I'm using here for the master board are called Vintage Fabric Sample Book and Dramatic Florals. Okay, so the Vintage Fabric Sample Book is really cool. It would be awesome as pages, just, as background pages for your journal. But it also called out to me to use as scraps, like individual pieces to make a background for a master board. I was really dying to do that. Normally, I would make a master board with scraps I already have. I just wanted to say that. But, I just wanted to do this project for Gina and myself, and I couldn't resist because I just thought it would be really pretty. And I think it is. I hope you think so too. So, anyhow, what I'm doing is I'm using a product called Liquitex Matte Medium and Matte Gel Medium, and it's basically a glue and a sealer. So what it's doing is it's adhere. Oh, I'm liking the music here. Sorry. I was doing a little dancing. I should have edited that out. um, anyhow, uh, what it's doing is it's adhering the scraps of paper to the substrate, and also then I'm going over the top to seal it and glue it down even more so. And it makes it super durable, very thick, and slightly water resistant too. You wouldn't want to get water like dumped on it, but it would be okay if it got a little damp. So yeah, this was so fun to do, and I wanted to mention for my substrate, I chose a backer of a scrapbook paper pad, 12 by 12, and what I love about it is this side is white, which I don't really care for, but the other side is like craft colored, and it's a perfect instant backing to write and journal on. I love to do that with packaging, like butter or whatever gives you that color on the inside. I love to do that. It's a quick way to make something one-sided, and it really looks good too. So yeah, so I just keep I sped this up because it's, same old, same old. But yeah, you just keep doing the same thing and try not to think about it too much. I might think about it a little bit here, like maybe alternating dark with light next to each other, so you don't end up with something too dark on one side, heavy, and, too light in another area. I might have thought about that a little bit as I was picking up and putting down. But other than that, I just kind of loved all these papers to begin with, and ripped them up. Didn't really think about the size that I was ripping them to, and then just knew I would like them together. So that's a good tip to know that it's going to come out cohesive if you're interested in cohesion. So, and I usually am. I like I like a mix, but I like it to at least make a little bit of sense. At least to me. uh, yeah, so I just need a little tiny strip here up at the top right, and we are done. Seal it down. So now I'm going to let this dry. If you were not, so what I did is I have a cast iron heater in my home, and it's still cool where I am right now in the States and in the Northeast. And so we have our heat on, and the cast iron heater, I've found as a really good little trick. Oh, no, I guess I'm not quite done. A little bit more here to do. Um, that's good because it gives me time to tell you this trick. I put wet things like this up against it, and then I lean something up against that so it can like stand up flat against it, and it dries like within an hour. Um, I don't run my heat hot. I'm very conservative with it, so it dries. And then I'll go and check on it like, within a half hour and flip it over, maybe upside down, whatever I feel it needs as I feel where it's wet. And then it's like ready to go. But if you don't have that kind of situation or a wood stove or, out in the sunshine or whatever, um, then, maybe let it dry overnight. Or if you have a heat tool, but, with glue, that kind of takes a while. um, so I think here I was second guessing this white piece and I wanted something with a little bit more color, um, and not so white, just to give a little bit more personality, because you never know what a piece of the masterboard is going to end up showing after you put your focal points down. Now, typically you'd see a masterboard done with something less busy than what I'm doing because you want to put focal points on it now. But you can do things like I'm going to show you now, where some of my focal points are more like sepia colored. So my background has the pop and the focal point is more neutral. So it's like a reverse of what you'd normally see on a journaling tag or a card or what have you, a cover. Here I'm just showing you, don't forget to put your brush in water if you use this product, or better yet, go wash it right away and wipe your lid, and your lid and the top of your can. So here it is all wet. Now it needs to dry, and then when it's dry, I'll trim it so that it's all square edges. And I love it. It's so pretty. I had so much fun working with her product. I just love it. Just, oh, it it just looks so, I don't know, I just so pretty. It just really spoke to me. So I'm giving you a good long look. Hope that's okay. I was enjoying it. So yeah, that's off to dry. And so like while it's drying, you can go ahead and start choosing what you want for your focal points. And when it's dry, we're going to cut it up. And I chose to cut it up into 8 journaling cards. And while it's drying, like I was saying, we're going to go ahead and choose what we want for our focal points, and I'm going to fussy cut. And you can do this in different stages, if you're busy and you work or you have kids or, busy life, just do a little bit one day and do a little bit another day. Or I like to fussy cut at night if I'm watching a show with my husband, but I want to let you know you really can't pay attention to the show. It's great if you're like rewatching something, but if you're really wanting to pay attention to the show, at least for me, I think I'm going to be able to, but no, not really. So, but still, I love to fussy cut at night while watching something with my husband. Yeah. So here's just a little tip of, not a tip, but just a little clip of fussy cutting in case you're new to it. Basically, you move the paper, not your scissors. I'm using large scissors here. Most people use much smaller scissors, but sometimes I do use small scissors when I need to. But sometimes I just use what's at the ready. So yeah, just kept fussy cutting, and I love fussy cutting. I find it so relaxing. Um, just try to remember to breathe and keep your shoulders down, and don't worry, like if you make a mistake and you cut it, you can just glue it. It like you never even made a mistake, so no stress. And you could probably circle punch this right out with like a hole punch with like a circle punch. I'm sure Gina intended, but I don't think I have one that size, so I used scissors. So now I'm showing you how I cut the master board we made into 8 journaling cards. And I didn't think too much about it when I cut it. I just went with it because I knew if I thought about it, I'd be there for a while. And I was happy in the end with what I got. So, and here's some of the fussy cutting. I just wanted to show you a little bit what I was doing while it was drying. And I didn't end up using every single one, but it's so nice to have an array of things to play with. And if you don't end up using them all, then, great. You have pieces to use for a future project, and you can start building a little stash. And it's so nice to have things ready for you. And here I'm just gathering a few other things, some more fussy cutting, and some clip art that I got from Hobby Lobby there, and some die cutting I did with some dies that I have on scrapbook paper, and some labels and things, just in case, a frame, some dictionary page, I think some music sheet. Oh, some cute little frames. I love those. I stamped those. And then yeah, some music sheet. Then I end up, that I stamped and embossed with embossing powder with a heat tool. But I end up cutting those stamped frames out with an X-Acto knife so that you can still see the master board underneath. So here, this is how I kind of do this. I arrange my tags or my cards down, and then I arrange my fussy cuts and ephemera into little piles that make sense to me, like long rectangular pieces. I meant to say, more like label type pieces, more focal pieces will go in a pile, things like that. And here I'm just sort of starting to play around with what I might like to do, and just showing you a focal piece there, the cute little girl with the hollyhocks. And I tried out that heart die cut, but um, I didn't like it that it covered too much of Gina's digital there. She's so cute, that girl. So I liked that green die cut instead. So I set it aside. I kind of got my composition and then I set it aside. So I'm kind of assembly lining here, and this helps with speed if you're interested in that. But it also helps with not getting too much into your head and keeping a flow going, I find. So if that is helpful to you, and I find it is so helpful to me. And here I'm loving this girl. I'm loving her on that background there. And so now I'm thinking, do I use one of these frames that I was talking about that I cut out the middle, and kind of maybe frame her face or the flowers, but no, I don't really think it's right. And this didn't look right either. So I just kind of try different things, and remember to put them back in their perspective piles, which I sometimes forget. And then it gets messy. But a tip is try to remember as you reject pieces, put them back where they go, and it keeps it orderly, and it keeps it not frustrating, and it keeps it fun. But yeah, So here I decide to use this little birdie strip. I love it, and I think it breaks it up nicely. I love that. I'm auditioning these leaves here, seeing if I like those. So fun to play. Fun, fun, fun. That little die cut is from that same package from Hobby Lobby that I was talking about. And it's a little vintage, like Victorian perfume, like aerator type bottle. I don't know if that's what you call those, but that's what that is. So I just keep trying things out till I'm happy. And if you liked anything and I didn't keep it, I'm sorry. But you know, we all like different things, right? That's what makes it so cool. That's what makes it so great. It would be so boring if we all did the same thing, right? So I love this like very soft, muted pink die cut that I did on some scrapbook paper. And I'm gonna end up going with that and the birdies. And I'm going to end up putting some book page that I punch out with a hole punch on the center of that flower, that pink flower. So I set it aside because I decided. And so here's another one. And I've got my focal point. Now I'm adding some other collaged images, trying things out. I end up liking this little eucalyptus that I die cut from scrapbook paper, and now I decide to use this this piece here, and I'm going to end up using it on the top right corner and fussy cut that. So I set that aside. I'm happy, good to go. Next. So I love this one. I love this girl. She's so pretty and she's so proud. She's loving what she's presenting, this pot of flowers. And I'm putting her behind this beautiful, it looks like a French you know, antique chair, and I love that. And I leave it as a pocket so you can access it, the chair, you know, behind the chair. And then I just keep going. Ooh, and then I love her. She was so alluring coming up out of the water, like a spring awakening, you know. I love her. And I add ink to my edges of all my pieces as well. And I end up thinking that that green strip is too thick, and I end up making it a little skinnier because I don't want to cover up too much of the background. And I'm loving this as I play around and audition. I really loved that. And so here what I do when I go to glue it down is if I have anything that you know, it's layered up, which pretty much everything is, I mark it down with a pencil so that way I arrange it, and then as I have to move it aside to glue it down, sometimes you can forget like exactly what you wanted to do. And then when you go to put glue on the back of your piece and glue it down, the glue is wet, you need to hurry up and get it down, and you're, oh no, I can't remember how it went. And it becomes messy. Or like, shoot, I ruined it. But no, seriously, there's no ruining. There's all just, you know, learning and relaxing and having fun. But anyway, that's my tip as I've done this over time and made these mistakes, or if you want to call them mistakes, you know, and just learning curve. And so those are things I've learned. And so now I mark it like that, and it avoids all that. So, little tip if you don't already do that, or if you're new. And yeah, so that's a little branch die cut that I stamped and then die cut and put over some fussy cutting that I did and Gina's digitals and fussy cut them and layered them and collaged them and just it looks so amazing on the master board, and I just love it. And it doesn't take away, I don't feel, from the master board. Maybe this one a little on the left because it's covering a lot, but most of them I feel like it doesn't take away at all from the background, and it just features that so well, and still has a lot of focal point and layered up images on the front. A good balance of both. At least I feel. So I love this mixing some different shapes, like a focal point with maybe something else that's maybe more subdued but still kind of focally, and then something that's more geometric like rectangular or square, and balancing them all together, and maybe a sentiment or a word of encouragement or a word that you'd like to keep in your mind or in your heart. I find that when I'm trying to change something, it really helps me to keep little words around, and certainly journal about them. And if I don't, and I just try to think about it, that never works. I never change if I do that. But seeing them, constantly seeing them and reading them or writing about them and journaling about them works so well. So, yeah, I don't know if it will work for you, but it works for me. So now when I'm done gluing on all my layers on the front of the journaling card, when it's dry, I go ahead and trim off any edges flush. I love to leave the edges, I have to say. I love to leave them. I mean, when they're like crazy and don't make sense, I don't. But sometimes they look so awesome, sort of hanging off the side, from the front. But I have to say, they're going to get wrecked in your journal. They're going to get bent and, dented and possibly start lifting and stuff like that. And some people don't mind that, and the tattered thing is lovely. So if that's good for you, leave some of them. If you don't want that, then cut them flush, and then you'll have nice straight edges. So today I'm choosing to have straight edges and have the bleed off the edge look on the journaling card. So here's 3. They're done. And after I trim, I ink and set them aside. But I wanted to mention, if you were wanting to mass produce and go faster, I would save all the trimming to do at once, all the inking to do at once, any hole punching you're going to do at once. Anything you're going to do it all at once. And I know it sounds crazy, but it really does save time when you don't pick your tools like up and down all the time, like pick them up, put them down, pick them up. It saves a ton of time when they're just in your hand, and you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. But that can get monotonous, so it depends on your mood and depends on what's going on in your life and what you're after. Here I wanted to show you that sometimes your pieces might break if you have delicate fussy cuts or delicate die cuts, and don't sweat it. It's okay. Just glue them right back down, and you can't even tell. I'm serious, you cannot even tell. So it's fine. And here I'm just kind of pressing with the bone folder and wiping away a little bit of glue that's coming out there, or pushing it back in with the point there in the little crevice, and pressing it down with my fingers. When you have really intricate die cuts like this or fussy cuts, you really do have to really press it down good and make sure it's adhered on all edges and no bubbles, no air bubbles. So yep, just trimming and then inking and keep it going. I had so much fun. It was like a blast. And when they're all done and they're all together, wow, they're so pretty. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn. It's really her digitals. It's really Gina's work. I know it's my arrangements, but teamwork, right? Team effort here. Teamwork. So here we go. Here's a little show and tell of the finished product. And there's those little book pages I was talking about, making little, I used a little hole punch, and I punched two because one just seemed too thin. So I glued two together. And my darn ring keeps spinning around. That really bothers me. It's always bugging me. Anyway, oh my gosh, I don't know which one is my favorite, but I can't even, oh, I can't stand it. This one's so, oh, the colors, I don't know. And that bird, I felt like it was way too modern to put with it, but in the end I was like, go with it. Just break out of what you feel like. Just do it. Just go with it. And I did it. So, I hope you like it. I ended up loving it. So those were the tags that we made with the masterboard. And here's the journal I've been working on, and these are Gina's digitals. And I have a video on these and flip through and everything. And it's I can link it in the description box, but it's a video. It was my first project I did for her, the design team that I'm on. And so here's the first two spreads and the journal that I made and the things I had on top of the journal. Here's the second spread. I so love this spread. The colors just, oof. Something about turquoise and coral. The ocean. I just love the ocean. Something about turquoise and coral. Just, I really, really gravitate toward it. So, but I also love neutrals. I'm weird. I'm very weird. Anyways, and so, and the journal goes on, but I have a flip through of it. It's blank at that point. I'm still working in it, but I have a flip through on the video I was mentioning before. So here's a final little look at all the awesomeness we made today. Oh God, I left these hanging off. See, I couldn't resist. And here's a little that came with her digital, and I'm gonna glue that on somewhere. It says flowers I bring, and she's carrying an apron of flowers. I love it. But see, you get an instant journaling space on the back when you use packaging like this. Reuse your packaging, and you don't have to cover the back. And here I used a knife and cut where I glued on, and so I could use it as a tuck. So I had so much fun. If you like this video and it was helpful to you, please give me a thumbs up or share. And you can find Gina's digitals in the description.